The Namibian oil and gas industry has recently experienced a surge in interest and investment following the announcement of major offshore exploration and development projects. These initiatives could create a significant economic boom within the oil and gas sector and the upstream and downstream industries that provide support and services to the core sector. The industry's rapid expansion is expected to generate numerous opportunities for businesses operating within and around the sector, such as the accounting fraternity. In light of this, the Chartered Institute for Business Accountants is hosting an online webinar on oil and gas developments. I'm now joined by the Chief Executive Officer of CIBA, Mr. Nicolaas van Wyk, joining us virtually all the way from Cape Town in neighboring South Africa, as well as CIBA Namibia Coordinator, Madam Elizabeth Simon. Good morning, ma'am and sir, and welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Good morning. Thank you for welcoming. How are you, Mr. Kingston?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you doing on this gift of a Wednesday morning?
I'm doing great. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Mr. van Wyk, how are you doing on this gift of a Wednesday morning in the mother city?
No, it's nice and early. It's nice to get a good start in the morning, and thank you for the invitation.
Being part of Good Morning Namibia is certainly a good start to the day. So let's take it all the way from the Western Cape before we move to Windhoek. From your perspective as a Chief Executive Officer, what do you make of CIBA's footprint in Namibia?
Namibia is an exciting economy. I think there's so many prospects and activity happening that it's really a boom time for accountants. We are a very large accounting professional body in Namibia, but we also have offices in South Africa and expanding into Africa. So there's lots of changes happening in legislation, revisions in the Auditing Act, revisions of your Companies Act. So it's really an exciting time for accountants, tax practitioners, auditors in Namibia, and we're just very blessed to have an office and participate with amazing accountants in Namibia.
That certainly is quite a compliment from the Chief Executive Officer that Namibia has amazing accountants. Please tell us more about the number of members that you have, Madam.
Okay, the number of amount of members that we have is more than 600 members at the moment. They're all accountants, but they have different designations.
Very well. Mr. van Wyk, what we understand is that CIBA's objectives include to protect the public interest as well as to enforce accountable and transparent professional services by accountants. Please talk to us about how you're able to ensure that practically.
Well, as a professional body, we are statutorily recognized in legislation, which means we are overseen by government agencies. We adopt many ethical standards, internationally ethical standards and quality control requirements for our members. We have a rigorous entry requirements before you can enter to the profession. And we one of the few professional bodies with an ethical exam before a person can become a member, and we continuously monitor the quality and the services provided by our members. We realize the important role that accountants play and that we need to be accountable to the Namibian society. We prepare financial statements, we submit them on behalf of clients to the revenue officers, and banks rely on the quality of the financial statements that we prepare. So we take that role very seriously, and we hold our members to account to the highest standards, and we also investigate complaints from the public to make sure that the public only receives a good service.
And certainly investors and prospective investors also rely heavily on the professional opinion that you express.
Yeah, that's right. Financial statements is the bedrock of an economy based on the information, the revenue, the expenses, the profits, the assets and liabilities. People have to make decisions whether they will invest in the entity. Credit agencies look at the financial statements within an economy, deciding on what revenue, what interest rate the country will pay on its foreign debts. So without quality financial statements, the economy can't function, and hence the importance of accountants and making sure that only quality accountants are servicing the Namibian economy.
Mr. van Wyk, while you have the virtual floor, let's please take a slight step back. You've also undergone a name change. Talk to us about what had brought that about.
It came about by the changes within global economics and politics. The world is no longer just limited to your own country. we are avid supporters of the Africa Free Trade Area, and we believe that accountants should we're able to work in any country in Africa. There's 1.4 billion people in Africa. With the Africa Free Trade Agreement, if we can get that right, we'll unlock $450 billion of real income. We'll increase our combined GDP to $3.4 trillion, and it'll make Africa a global player. So with the support of, with us supporting the African Union and the Free Trade Agreement, our board felt that we should have a name change. We shouldn't be limited to only South Africa. We're already in Namibia, and we've got global partnerships from France to Tunisia and Morocco. We're attending a CFO conference just now in June. So with that, we believe that we should change the name to Chartered. The word Chartered means showing the direction for accountants to follow. We've mentioned standards and qualification criteria, and that's what Chartered is about. It is chartering a career path for accountants, and it's assisting government in charting the growth of the economy.
Thank you so much, Mr. van Wyk. Madam Simon, having heard Mr. van Wyk explain how it's impossible, particularly in 2023, to still limit yourself, I would imagine that this name change also helped further capacitate and strengthen the footprint in Namibia. Please talk to us about how the Namibian office is leveraging that re-imaging.
Thank you very much. In terms of the different designations, is that right? So our accountants are basically known as business accountants in practice. These accountants are literally our accounting officers that do give services to clients. In terms of when they try to register their businesses with BIPA, we give them those consent letters and we sign them. But now we also have applied different type of designations that can accommodate the economy of Namibia, especially for entry level. We have what we call the University to Professional program, whereby if you are in your third year or in your fourth year, you can register as well as a student in order to get CBD training, which is continuous progression, professional development. Whereas when you are done graduating as an accountant, at least you have a glimpse of what is awaiting for you outside the corporate world. Because most of us, when we are done with our varsity or when we have graduated, more often we do not know which direction to really navigate into the system. So that's where CIBA comes in and assists the students. So at the moment we are busy trying to get all the students all over this Namibia, including the universities, we are trying to get into an MOU.
Those are very significant developments. Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Mr. van Wyk, as we know, there are very serious developments within the energy space, especially in the land of the brave. And that is what I would imagine brought about and prompted the idea for the webinar. Please tell us more.
We've noted from South Africa with keen interest the developments in sourcing alternative energies. Africa has a shortage of energy, and therefore we were quite impressed with the Namibian ability to enhance its exploration offshore into the Namibian gas fields. Now, those are primary industries, bringing about billions of investments, creating thousands of new jobs, and delivering energy that not only South Africa, but the whole of Africa needs for our development. And we've recognized that as those primary industries develop, secondary industries start providing supplies to the mining and gas companies, and also services. So we don't want to be left behind. Namibia is showing us the way. We want to make sure that Namibia is provided with qualified and capable accountants that's been trained specifically in how to do accounting for oil and gas companies and for all the players within the supply chain of oil and gas.
Thank you so much, sir.
There's different tax treatments, so we're quite eager to see this development.
Thank you so much, Mr. van Wyk. Madam Simon, as we're starting to wrap up our conversation this morning, please tell us some details about tomorrow's event.
Thank you. So tomorrow's event will be taking place, it's virtually. It is on the impact of the oil and gas developments that's in Namibia that's upcoming. The event will start from 3 o'clock up until 5 o'clock. It's a free CPD event for CIBA active in good standing members. we have around about 130 registered participants on that. And then the panelists, it will be Mr. Nicolaas van Wyk himself. He's the CEO of the Chartered Institute for Business Accountants, as well as Mr. Justice Mafungwe, and then as well the deputy, the commissioner. But at the moment, there might be an exchange of an executive rather from NAMCOR itself.
Thank you so much, and may the day be a resounding success.
Thank you.
Baie dankie, meneer Van Wyk.
Baie dankie julle en have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There you have it. The Chartered Institute of Business Accountants will be talking oil and gas tomorrow. Nicolaas is standing by with the news at 7.